ازيكم يا بنات عاملين ايه؟ شوفوا تقسيمة الشعراية اللي بيعملها، بياخد جزء من الشعر من تحت من القفا كده، وبيقيس عليه المسافة الطول، وفي نفس الوقت بيقص الايه الشعر، وهكذا لما بينزل واحدة 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 كده. شوفوا القصة وركزوا بالمقص اللي ماسكه وبيتعامل ازاي، وقص القصة نفسها بتعمل ايه.
That everything is with as little tension as possible. If you don't even have to use a comb, like right here, I'm not even using a comb because the hair is falling the way I want it to. If I need to control it a little bit, then I hold it with the wide teeth of the comb, just subtly, but again, don't pull the hair from where it wants to live. So notice I keep continually moving in that horizontal, slight diagonal forward way, and I'm following now that line, which is in line with the chin or the jawline, right? So look at the jawline and look at the part line. So notice that those mimic each other. I want the haircut to flow with the jawline. So as I'm cutting, I'm looking up and I'm looking at that parting as a reference point to make sure that I get the cut that I'm looking for. These are more advanced ways of thinking. Like every time you do a haircut, you got to break things down even more. Like, how am I parting the hair? How clean am I taking my sections? What's the angle of my scissor? What's the tension I'm putting on the hair? These are all things you have to think about to take yourself to the next level when you're cutting hair. So could you just pull it down and cut it? Could you do that angle without parting it in that angle? Yes, you can do all that stuff, but it's so important to just keep everything clean while you're working, so that you get a better result every single time you cut somebody's hair. All right, and then I'll finish up my final kind of bringing down that final section and just cutting everything. Once a lot of your clients have layers in their hair, so it gets a little bit less dense in the top. So as I bring that down, it took a little bit thicker of a section, but still just following the line that I've created from the. Now this is really fun because this is a shattered fringe. I wanted to show you guys how to create this. My initial thought is I want to figure out around what length I want to take. So I take a little piece out and I carve into that little piece. I section everything else away, carve into that little piece to get the length that I want as a guideline. So now I can take down the rest of that section. I'm going to pull it over top of the nose, angle my fingers at about a 45-degree angle, and then I point cut in to give it that shattered effect. So what I'm really doing right now is removing length. That's the key. And I'm going to go a little bit shorter in the dry portion of the cut, but I want to remove the length, remove some of the density, so it makes it easier for me when I go in with that dry cut. So notice I overdirect everything to that center point. It's really 3 sections. I cut the middle, and then I pull each side over to the center, and you get that curved effect in the fringe. Now that fringe is a little bit longer than what I want in the end result. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to style it now. I'm going to use Paul Mitchell Quick Slip, one of my favorite products, very light hold. Keeps the hair nice and flexible, but nice and smooth and shiny as well. It also speeds up your blow dry time, which is always a benefit in your home or in the salon. So I work the fringe back and forth. I do a flat wrap technique. My goal with this is to make sure that I'm just wrapping the hair around the head, which you'll see as I blow dry that, and as it starts to dry, notice the curve of the hair that starts to happen naturally. Now it curves around the face, gives it a more natural feel, a natural lie. So when I go in and do my dry cutting, that's when I'll see the benefit of that, because it's already going to have that nice natural fall to it. So just working both sides back and forth, same thing in the back, go one way, back the other way. That cowlick area in the top of the crown, I want to do the same thing there. I'm not trying to blow dry that up and unnatural. I want to keep everything in its natural fall in the cut. Now I go in Paul Mitchell flexible style, hot off the press. Definitely top 10 product on my list. Love it. Heat protectant, has a little bit of hold, which is always nice, but it's not extreme. So I go in 80% dry the hair, spray hot off the press, then I go in, finish it 100% dry, and then I go in with my smoothing iron and finish it that way. Now, notice I didn't grab my scissor to do this technique. I could use the tip of the scissor and work my way around. In the salon, sometimes I like to just grab a clipper because it's a lot faster. I get this very similar result, pretty much the same result, sometimes even better result using the clipper, and I go through and I just define that line on the outer perimeter. Now we go in with the fringe. I'm going to do slide cutting to remove length and density and start to create that choppy fringe. So the reason I took a lot of that length off and all of that at the beginning in the wet cut was just so I could have the ease of just sliding through here and really etching in that style that I want. So just pinching the hair, sliding and cutting. Half closing the scissor, sliding down the hair shaft, and there you go. That's what we're trying to do. Now I'm going to lift the hair up and I'll point cut a little deeper into it. That slide cutting takes some of the density out, and then the point cutting is really going to chop off those ends and make the bang just a little bit shorter. That's what I wanted it to be. And there we go. Got a little choppiness to it. It's almost the way I want it. And now a little tease cutting. Those of you guys who watch my videos for a long time, you know I love this technique. Just wanted to remove a little density from the sides of the hair, add a little bit of layering, but invisible layers, just to soften everything. This is definitely a textured look, so it doesn't need to be so precise on the sides. And now I'm going to finish it with Paul Mitchell Hold Me Tight, nice firm hold hairspray. And then I really wanted to bring this into a little bit more of a modern style. So this wraps a little bit too much around her face. So I'm going to go in and do a little bit more of a technique in there. But I'll get a little bit of the hot off the press on there. And now I take my smoothing iron. This is the Paul Mitchell Express Ion style. And I just tweak it out just a little bit. So I put it in the iron and I twist out instead of around the face. That's going to give me a more modern, choppy feel to the style. So this is one of my favorite things to do at this point, especially with a blunt bob, is just to create. You can see how choppy it looks. That to me makes it a little bit more modern. Now I go in, this is actually a barbering product, but it's always good on a bob too. What's good in barbering is good on a bob. I go through, it's a dry paste, and I just add a little bit of separation, a little bit of shine, kind of clump together some of that fringe area. Just gives it more texture and a fun look. So hope you guys like this video. I definitely loved making this video for you. If you have any cutting or coloring requests,